Hi everybody, today we're here with Ian Griffin, the author of The Birth of a Spy Couple, the story of Rick and Katja. So Ian, where are you from? And tell us a little bit about yourself and your upbringing.
So I grew up in a little small town, just a small town boy in Pittsburgh, Texas, and about 4,000 people in the town. And it's Mayberry in Texas. It is just like the Andy Griffith Show, to be honest. But I grew up there, and then from there I moved on to the United States Army after doing a little bit of college time in the community college around here. And I did 31 years in the Army, and I made it through all the ranks in the Army on the listed side, and I was a command sergeant major at the end of my time. And kind of one unique thing that I have that I think benefits authors, and I'm not really consider myself, I mean, I wrote a book, but I consider myself more of a writer than anything, is the ability to tell a story. And the ability to tell a story, I have the Texas upbringing with the gift of embellishing a story. And being a sergeant major we're notorious for telling long stories and long briefings and things of that nature. So I have two things going for me, and to describing a story to people, I think is beneficial. So.
Okay, so did you take college level writing classes? What's your educational background?
So I took some at the bachelor level, but it was very minor. I was not a literary person. I was not an English major or anything of that nature. To be funny about it, I started off in automotive mechanics. Then from my bachelor's, I went into global business and public policy, which there's some speaking there. So you're articulating things, but you're not writing as much. And then my master's was in American military history. There I wrote an awful lot, but it was not the style of writing how I would write for fun or for a book. So.
Okay, so what do you like to read in your spare time?
Actually, my favorite book of all time is The German Boy by Wolfgang W.E. or W.B. I can't remember. I think it's W.E. Samuel. And my wife recommended it. It's a phenomenal story. It's a true story. And so I like reading historically factual things. I grew up in the Army where you had to read things that were truthful. You had to read things that were significant. And so I gravitate to that. Other authors, though, I do enjoy reading about are, I have enjoyed reading Stephen King. I have a lot of respect for Hemingway. The Old Man by the Sea, for anybody who can articulate an entire book about a man and just sprinkle in a little bit about a second character and fishing, is phenomenal. And so I do like reading about those people right there. And I like reading Agatha Christie. And of course, my name's Ian Griffin, so I got to gravitate to the spy books, Ian Fleming, so.
So what made you start wanting to write?
So wanting to write, that's kind of interesting because I had to write a lot for college. And then when I got out of the military, I started doing a podcast, and we do some write-ups there. So I said, let me go out to community college and grow writing kind of journalistically. And so as I did that, my confidence really boosted a lot. And I sat there, and as I got done with most of my coursework, I said, let me write for fun. I've been wanting to write for fun for years. Never really sat down and did it, but it was all about the confidence in there. And so I kind of grew off of that. And then kind of once I started, I just had fun with it because I was writing for me. I wasn't writing for nobody else. I was just writing for me for fun. And so that's kind of where it's all starting.
All right. Any advice you would give to potential new writers, people just starting out to write?
Yes. So I mirror writing as my time in the military in some aspects. When I was in the military, as I started progressing past the rank to the rank of E7 and E8 and E9, Sergeant First Class, First Sergeant, Command Sergeant Major, I would get tons of advice from very senior people. And they would say, be like this person, be like that person, do like this person. But I would have one or two who really know me, and they would go, just be you. Don't be nobody else. Just be you. Just continue on being you. And that was actually the best advice that I ever got. And so I've had people give me advice before writing a book, and then definitely after. They're like, oh, you need to go read this by Stephen King to learn how to write and make sure you're a good author, and you need to read this, keep it small like Hemingway and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, but you haven't read my book. So how do you know which way I need to go if you haven't even read it? Maybe I'm already there, or maybe I just need to be me and not be like Stephen King, and not be like Hemingway, and not being like Christie, and not being like Dan Brown, or not being like, Ian Fleming. Maybe I just need to be like Ian Griffin, because I have a feeling Ian Fleming just was like Ian Fleming, and I have a feeling Stephen King was just like Stephen King. So I will say, pick out pieces that you like out of it and put in your tool bag for writing is perfect. I agree with that. And we did that in the military too. But never change from who you are. Just be yourself and write the way you want to write. Is my best advice I give anybody, is write from your heart and write about what you want to write.
What's in the future for you?
Oh, so of course, I released The Birth of a Spy Couple at the end of August. It came out on Amazon and Barnes & Noble on October 20th. And we're sitting here about to hit the month of December. Book 2, 3309, is the second edition to the Rick and Katja series. Will be out in March, we're hoping. It's in the editing process right now. It's completely written it. It's ready to it's being chopped up. I'll get it back and hopefully get it out by then. And then after that, we'll be pushing along the third installment of it around August to October timeframe of this 2023. I plan on having 6 books at least in the Rick and Katja series. I have some other ideas in mind, just veering far away from Rick and Katja, spy books, and that I've had for many years that I've written a little bit and then I stopped. And I'm thinking about picking those up just because they're fun to write about. It's fun. It's a fun story that I want to articulate. And I think when it comes to writing, is me telling you a story is the best frame of mind I can have. I'm telling you a story that I think is interesting.
Well, thank you very much, Ian.